Hello and welcome to Views on News. I am Jawad Tehami. We are going to talk about two different important developments in today's show. The first relates to the government's operation against the illegal immigrants after the voluntary repatriation for them, the deadline for which expired at the night of 31st of October. And the second thing which we are going to talk in the second segment relates to Lahore High Court ordering the authorities in Punjab to impose emergency in Lahore immediately regarding the situation of smog in the capital city of Punjab. So let's start with the first topic. As we all know, the deadline on the night of 31st of October expired, given by the Pakistani authorities for all the illegal immigrants to voluntarily leave the country, otherwise in the violation of which after the expiry of the deadline, their businesses and their properties would be confiscated and they would face deportation. Now, the operation by the authorities across the country has started, and holding centers have been established for that particular matter. Those illegal immigrants who haven't voluntarily gone back to the countries of their origin will be held in those holding centers, from where they would be sent back to their countries of origin. There was a kind of a misperception regarding that particularly this drive was focused against the people belonging to Afghanistan, but Pakistani authorities have categorically and repeatedly said that all the illegal immigrants, irrespective of their nationality or the country of origin, will be repatriated. How this particular drive is going on, there have been certain changes of stance, particularly when we talk about the Afghan Taliban. Earlier we saw sort of a criticism coming from the Afghan Taliban regarding this move by the Pakistani authorities. Later there was a little bit of shift of that particular stance. Earlier criticism, now acceptance, but they have asked the Pakistani authorities to give the Afghan illegal immigrants residing in Pakistan some more time, but repeatedly Pakistani authorities have said that there would not be any sort of extension in that particular deadline. So we'll be discussing how this particular drive is going, what measures the authorities in Pakistan have taken, what could be the challenges ahead in this particular first phase of this operation to deport all the illegal immigrants from the country. And specifically when we talk about the Foreign Office statement regarding the international community's responsibility of this particular refugee problem, we'll be also bringing that one into discussion in today's show. For that, we are honored to have been joined in the studio by Mr. Khurram Shahzad. He is editor reporting associated with Urdu News. Mr. Khurram, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on the show tonight. We really appreciate that. And on Skype, at the same time, we are being joined by Brigadier retired Mahmood Shah. He's senior analyst. Brigadier Mahmood, thank you very much for your time, also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Mr. Khurram, if you allow me, let me begin the discussion with Brigadier Mahmood Shah. Brigadier Mahmood, how badly and crucially this particular exercise or drive to repatriate all the illegal immigrants for Pakistan was, and how do you think the authorities have carried out this particular drive so far?
I think it was the most important thing, or I would say the problem that Pakistan was facing, what we call as mother of all problems, the existence of these many refugees from Afghanistan particularly, and there are some other countries also. There are Bangladeshi also, particularly in Karachi and places like that. So I think the way the government decided this and has started operating this system which they had conceived, I think it is a very good idea, and it will be in the interest of this country and also in the interest of Afghanistan. Nobody can really bear the weight of another country. Whatever difficulties they have, we have our good wishes for them, but we are not going to compromise on our national security. This aspect is like this, I would say, I'm saying this for the first time in my interviews, that in Afghanistan, the Taliban are firmly in the government, and their file and ranks, the foot soldiers, they are free, and the TPP is available to recruit them. And I think this is a future threat for Pakistan. And these Afghan refugees were providing a sort of support. They would come and stay with them, and then onward, you would have this terrorism in Pakistan. So I think it's a good idea that we have taken this step, and we have started very well. I think 200,000 Afghan refugees have been repatriated the first day. This is a good progress. This whole thing is going to take 2 to 3 years because the way that these people are in our society, and they have started businesses, they have their own shops, their own houses, their own property. I think this is first those illegal immigrants who have no papers at all, and after this there will be a scrutiny of the ID card that they have got from the Nadra, and there are so many problems in that also. So I think we should stay determined to implement this, and I think the government should continue with this. It is not one day's job, it is not 2 days' job, it is like 2 to 3 years it will take before we come to a satisfactory balance in this whole process. So I think in this...
Brigadier Shah, your point is well taken. I seek your pardon for the interjection over here. I'll come back to you to take your detailed understanding regarding as to what benefits in future Pakistan would be having after this gigantic exercise. Let me proceed with the discussion. Mr. Khurram, how do you think this particular exercise is going on so far? Around 150 to 200,000 illegal immigrants have been repatriated so far. Rest of those people, there is an estimate of around 2 million people out of 1.7 happen to be of the Afghan origin. How do you see this particular exercise heading in future also?
I think this is one of the exercises of Pakistan government which are being carried out in very well manner, and very professionally and very well coordinated. This effort throughout its beginning, when government of Pakistan announced that they will send back these illegally staying Afghans, not only Afghans but the aliens of all nations who are staying illegally in Pakistan, and they will be sent back. They gave them.
Mr. Khurram, I really seek your pardon. Here we do have to make it very clear, as has been repeatedly clarified by the Pakistani authorities also, that this drive is not particularly focused against the people who belong to Afghanistan. It is for every illegal immigrant, irrespective of their country of origin and the nation.
Yeah, this is what I was saying, that this is not Afghan-specific exercise. This is alien-specific exercise, and those aliens who are illegally staying in Pakistan, who are not registered here.
So why do you think there is a kind of, there are certain quarters and segments who are trying to criticize this particular move on the part of the Pakistani authorities, perhaps creating that perception overall that it is specifically directed towards the people from Afghanistan?
No, I think we should not. I mean, this criticism is not valid. Those who are criticizing this exercise, I think they don't realize the ground realities. And there are certain ground realities which force Pakistan to take this action. Pakistan have been tolerating these illegal immigrants since 40 years now, more than 40 years even, and we have been tolerating them, we have hosted them, we have provided all facilities to them, but then there is a limit to everything, and now Pakistan can't sustain with so many irregularities and so many unregistered people. So as Pakistani government has said many times that they are welcome when they come back with passports and visas, They are not being denied entry. They are welcome to come back to Pakistan, but for that they will have to follow a process. They will have to go back to their country of origin. They will have to get their documents, and documents of their nationality, documents of their origin, and then they will have to get valid passport of their country, and then they should apply for visa to Pakistan as Pakistanis apply for visa for Afghanistan if they have to go. I mean, I hope you are aware and our viewers are aware that there is no way for Pakistanis to enter Afghanistan without any documentation if you are going for a legal thing. So you have to register yourself at somewhere, and this is the mechanism which works all over the world. So there is an end to everything. So I think this is the right time to take this action, and government of Pakistan is coordinating it really well. They have made holding centers. They are dealing these people with respect. We have not seen so far any reports of mistreatment. Any reports
okay,
of
there have been allegations. Certain reports are rising regarding these allegations by some people, reported by some media outlets. Perhaps that the law enforcement agencies are harassing and mistreating the illegal immigrants, even those people, those who have got the so-called proof of staying over here. They say that they've got the letter from Pakistani authorities to stay over here. So, I mean, if these allegations being hurled, do you think there is any sort of truth? Because we have seen the Interior Minister categorically saying if such type of complaints come in, it would be dealt in a very strict manner.
Tehami sir, when you launch an operation of such large scale, there are always some mistakes and some miscoordination and some maltreatments everywhere. If you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of people, there are some individual incidents and scattered incidents at the ground level where the ground officials, they do it out of anything. So we can't. I mean, what I was going to say, that we have not seen large reports that it is happening at the large scale, but of course, I mean, when you conduct such a large operation.
But there could be a possibility that if such type of allegations is being hurled, perhaps there is some sort of an agenda just to make an effort to perhaps discredit this particular rightful exercise Pakistan is undertaking.
Yes, this is propaganda. Actually, when you see social media and the other medias, there are certain groups which are propagating against this exercise and which are actually defaming Pakistan and Pakistani government for taking this action, which I think is totally unethical and I mean, it doesn't have any merit, because this is very right of government of Pakistan to permit anybody to enter in the country and to register anybody to enter in the country. And if somebody is not willing to register him or herself, then he should be deported. He or she should be deported. So I mean, this is the rule which works everywhere in the world. So I don't see anything wrong in this.
Right, Brigadier Shah, what's your understanding? What sort of future benefits are associated with this gigantic exercise for Pakistan, for its national security in the coming months, especially when we talk about in the immediate terms?
First, I think the government of Pakistan, the government of Afghanistan should have understood that the TPP, the way that they were dealing with them, they should realize now that it has landed them into a lot of problems. The relations between the two countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan, have got strained, and Pakistan has made now a categoric policy that they will never negotiate with groups like that. The Afghan government previously insisted that you should negotiate with them. It is for them the way they want to deal, or if they want Pakistan to be involved in this, then they should be sent back to Pakistan, and Pakistan will deal with them through their courts. And this they have said that if they want to deal with them to their courts, Pakistan would be prepared to send their lawyer and other people to help in that process. And they must be punished, or their sort of claim to coming to Pakistan would be scrutinized through those courts. So I think the problem of this TTP has also been sort of solved. And as I said earlier, that the TPP now has got very large number of Afghans available to be recruited against Pakistan. So that also, and those Afghans, when they are sort of used against Pakistan, these Afghan refugees provide them shelter or a sort of they sort of provide them help in their terrorist activities. So we will see decrease in the terrorist activities now with this operation going on. The second is that our market is affected a lot, and you will see that local people will get jobs. For example, it was like in Peshawar, if you want to buy to apply labor, Pakistani would say 500 or 600 rupees, and Afghani would be prepared to work for 400 rupees or 300 rupees. So that way there was no labor available to Pakistanis who are as poor as the Afghanis. So I think in our market you will say our people have jobs. These people also indulge in trade. They have big shops in big malls like Lahore and Karachi. By their going away, this space will be available to our own people to indulge in trades, etc. And the main thing is that you see you have a limited foreign currency in your country. That currency is going to Afghanistan, and we are trying to run two countries with the same meager foreign currency that is available to us, or we are trying to create. So there is going to be a lot of benefit to us through our economy. The Afghanistan, you saw this, that they were stable, whereas our economy was becoming unstable, and you found that the prices have gone very high for the people in terms of this. So I think generally in terms of trade, in terms of economy, in terms of employment, and in terms of security, this is going to have a major impact if we can succeed in completing this operation. And it has started only today or yesterday, so 2 days have gone. But I think we should continue, we should insist on it, and the people are with you. They are with you. This propaganda that you see are from certain quarters. There are political parties in our country who have got these people ID cards to surreptitious sort of means, and they have made them as their voters. So these parties are known both in Balochistan and in KP here, that who are the ones who are supporting them and asking that they should be left to stay. That is the advantage that they are taking of them, and I think so politically it will have advantages, economically it will have advantages, and for the welfare of general public, they will have more jobs and more facilities.
Right. I'll come back to you, Brigadier Shah. Mr. Khurram, now when specifically we talk about the UN reaction, on one side we see it appreciates the way Pakistan has hosted Afghan refugees, in particular for years, for decades in fact, but at the same time asking Pakistan to do more. Doing more in what sense? Don't you think the United Nations should have actually appreciated the overall Pakistan's approach towards the refugees over the last many decades, rather than asking Pakistan to do more in that regard?
Actually, as you mentioned, they do appreciate Pakistan's efforts to host these refugees and have been hosting them since many decades now. UNHCR works really closely with Pakistan, but then they say they do more. This is, I think, I don't actually give any weightage to this statement. This is just a routine statement by the UN. We have talked previously about the UN's role in overall world affairs in this program earlier as well. I mean, this is a body which is no more active now. This is, I mean, look at Palestine and what is happening over there, and they can't do anything. So this is just a lip service. So we should not give it more weightage than this. So yes, they do contribute some funds when it comes to refugees, and these funds are provided by donors, mainly Japan and other donors. The refugees staying in Pakistan, they are treated well by UN through Pakistan. So there is some involvement, but when politics comes in this issue and when others, I think the UN is no more any effective body.
So I'm very curious to understand what actually irks those people who are trying to spread a misperception regarding this Pakistan's authorities' drive. What's that particular point? Why are they trying to spread that negative propaganda regarding it? What do they get out of it?
Actually, there is a lobby exists which mentally and ideologically is against the ideology of Pakistan, against the state of Pakistan. So they keep on finding something from here and something from there to to propagate against Pakistan. So whatever comes, I mean, you will always find same people spreading negative propaganda across the social media, across the other medias. So I don't think we should worry about them.
Mr. Khurram Shahzad, editor reporting at Urdu News, thank you very much for being with us on the show tonight. We really appreciate that. Brigadier Shah, now when we talk about the stance of the interim Afghan authorities, earlier when this announcement or the deadline of the voluntary repatriation of these illegal immigrants was made after the Apex Committee's decision, there was a criticism by the spokesperson of the interim Afghan authorities, Zabiullah Mujahid. Later on, with the passage of time, we saw there was a little bit of shift of stance with one of the interim Afghan authorities official saying that they don't object to this particular move of the Pakistani authorities. What do you think that led to this particular shift on the part of the Afghan authorities from criticism to acceptance?
I think it was because they were never prepared for this, and they never thought it possible that Pakistan will do this. They somehow were increasing pressure against Pakistan, and they thought as if they have not only occupied the seat of power in Afghanistan, but they have got the ability to pressurize Pakistan through these tactics. And once we were found to be very determined to do it, they are still not really prepared that what are they going to do to resettle these Afghans in Afghanistan. I think they will have to work out a plan. Otherwise, it will be sort of difficult for them as to up till now. Right up yesterday, when the heavy convoys started moving into Afghanistan, they have still that negative perception. They have told what they call this Lagrial in Spin Buldak area. That is, they operate between Spin Buldak and the Chaman, carrying these luggage, etc. Quite a number of people. They have been given cameras that you try to photograph when the Pakistani authorities are mishandling, particularly any woman or any refugee.
Brigadier Shah, I really seek your pardon for the ejection over here. I'll have to go for a quick, short break for some breaking news. And after we return from this break, I will resume the discussion from here. For that, stay tuned. Welcome back to Views on News. We are discussing the government's operation against the all illegal immigrants after The deadline for their voluntary repatriation to the countries of their origin expired on 31st of October. To discuss that, we are already joined by Brigadier Retired Mahmood Shah, senior analyst on Skype. Brigadier Shah, now when we talk about this gigantic exercise, after once it is completed, how crucial and important do you think subsequently the border management and border security would be for Pakistan?
I think it is important even now before this complete exercise terminates. It is important that we manage this border as per international law. As we are managing the other borders, it is the same in this case. We should be able to manage, and we should not allow anyone coming into Pakistan without proper papers. And the second is about the trade which is happening between these two countries have to be on international rules. For example, an Afghan comes and he has a lot of Pakistani rupees. And in Afghanistan, Pakistani rupees is considered as a second currency. So they have a lot of Pakistani rupees. They come in and they make purchases in the market. Except for small quantities, like if you want to buy cigarettes or if you want to buy a kilo of sugar, it's okay. But you should not be able to buy 20 trucks of sugar or cement or flour in that manner. It should come, for example, cement. You should go to the factory and make your payment in terms of international currency like dollar, pounds, or euros, whatever, and you will have an LC account. The banks know how to process this, and they will load the cement into your truck along with peppers, and only that will go across the border, and not really that they are making purchases in the market as if they are citizens of this country. And many people, Pakistanis, are involved in this. They call themselves as traders, and they have a sort of a delegation going to Afghanistan, and a delegation comes from Afghanistan. We say we are dealing in the trade. They should not be allowed. This trade should be as per international rules. And for example,
if we have the interjection pretty quickly regarding do we expect any sort of cooperation when it comes to the interim Afghan authorities in this particular matter later on?
I think it should be forced upon them. For example, if our own people, anyone in the market, for example, here an Afghani comes and he doesn't have proper papers, and he wants to purchase 2 trucks of sugar, this man who is selling the sugar to him should be arrested. That how are you making this deal across the border with Pakistani rupees? So this all has to be regulated. When we are saying that we will increase our exports, what does it mean? It means that more foreign currency will come into our country, into our market. And with that, we will buy foreign goods. In Afghanistan, they are not only doing this practice, but they're coming into the money exchange. They purchase dollars and take it to Afghanistan. And with that, they do the business with the rest of the countries. For example, Japan will never give you cloth on Pakistani rupees. So what they do, they pick up dollars from Pakistani market, they go across and through whatever countries they go through and buy Japanese cloth. And you find Japanese cloth being sold in Lahore, in Peshawar, in Rawalpindi, in Karachi. And we have not done this at the government level. So this whole sort of economic structure of Pakistan has been under pressure from Afghan. or
So of course, there are
Afghanistan
benefits
government.
associated in that regard. Also, unfortunately, we are short of time. I'll have to end this particular segment over here. Brigadier retired Mahmood Shah, senior analyst, joining us on Skype. Thank you very much for being with us on the show tonight. We really appreciate that. Regarding the segment, there's been a major development as there has been an emergent situation regarding smog prevailing in the capital city of Punjab, Lahore, where the air quality index has been recorded at 225, and Lahore has been on the top of some of the most polluted cities around the globe as per the measurement of that air quality index. In that particular regard, the Lahore High Court has ordered the administration over there in Lahore to impose a citywide smog emergency. Now, it has also directed the government not to de-seal factories that are responsible for black smoke. I'll quickly bring in Mr. Ahmad Rafay. He is an environment lawyer joining us on Skype to discuss this particular important development. Mr. Alam, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on Views on News tonight. Really appreciate that. Let's begin with this. What does this mean when we talk specifically smog emergency? What sort of administrative measures do you think the authorities are going to take under this particular order by the Lahore High Court?
Well, first of all, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you, Jawad, for covering this very important issue that affects every Pakistani living in a city today. Air pollution is lethal. Now, as far as administrative measures are concerned, I'll remind you that the city of Lahore has been experiencing dangerous levels of air pollution since at least 2016. And yet, what is disturbing is that after nearly 8 years, it takes the Lahore High Court to issue directions to the administration to do something. It's not the job of the Lahore High Court to clean the air, it's the job of the administration to do so. And so we have to recognize that one of the aspects of...
For the interjection, but the petitioners have requested the court intervention in this particular regard.
No, absolutely. That's because Lahore's air quality spiraled in the last week, making Lahore the most air polluted city on the face of the earth. Now, the thing is that I should also remind you, it isn't for the High Court to be issuing directions, because earlier this year in April, the cabinet, the provincial cabinet, the cabinet of Punjab adopted an air pollution policy that has extensive notes about its policy interventions in the transport sector, in the industrial sector, in agriculture and livestock, in energy, and in infrastructure. And what is disturbing is that several months, 6 months down the line, the government of Punjab is not acting on that policy, and it's taking the Lahore High Court to issue directions to it to do something. Again, the air pollution in Punjab is, first of all, not related just to Punjab, all over Pakistan, but in Punjab it's the worst. People in Lahore are losing as much as 6 to 8 years of life expectancy on account of this poisonous air that was subjected to
Lahore. Why specifically Lahore, Mr. Alam? Why specifically Lahore? What are the major causes that are contributing to this particular air pollution problem when it comes to this particular season of the year, when smog prevails all over the city, the visibility is reduced, and then the related health problems people have to face, particularly in this season? Why specifically Lahore?
Well, I have to clarify, it's not Lahore. The reason why we speak about Lahore is because a bunch of people in high-income areas have installed air quality monitors which broadcast Lahore's air pollution online and bring it to the attention of everyone else. But the fact is that the city of Peshawar, where there are some monitors, is also one of the dirtiest on the face of the earth. The city of Faisalabad is very dirty when it comes to air pollution. The city of Karachi, people think because of the sea breeze, is very clean, but that's not true, because North Karachi and especially the industrial areas are incredibly polluted. All of Pakistan, and I stress this, all of Pakistan's cities are subject to air pollution which is at dangerous levels, but the reason why Lahore gets reported is because we have monitors here which are broadcasting information that citizens can read. This is not a Lahore problem. This is a regional problem that actually stretches from Kabul to Calcutta and requires a regional approach. You cannot fix the air pollution in Lahore by just focusing on Lahore. You have to have a focus on all of Punjab. There is smog all over Punjab. If you drive on the motorway either to Multan or to Islamabad and Pindi, you'll find a cloud of smoke in the valley. This is not a Lahore problem. It's a very much regional problem that people need to understand.
Right, Mr. Alam. Now, is it the combination of those emissions from the transportation also? Does it has to deal with solely with more industrialization or urbanization, or are there any other factors that are contributing to this particular thing?
Well, thank you for asking that question. Because in order to have an effective air pollution policy, we need to know where the pollution is coming from. There are numerous sources of pollution, from automobile emissions to industrial emissions to actually indoor air emissions, the pollution that's caused when we cook our food using wood or using gas. We need to have a comprehensive study to tell us where the air pollution is coming from. Now, having said that, I should point out that there have been some source apportionment studies in Punjab, notably the Food and Agriculture Organization's R Smog report of 2018 and the Urban Unit's Air Inventory of Punjab of earlier this year, both of which simultaneously conclude that nearly 45% of all the air pollution in Punjab throughout the year is actually from the transport sector. And then another 20 and 20% allocated to the industrial sector and to the energy production sector. So these are the areas that we need to focus on in order to improve air pollution. Not just that, but we also have to have better source apportionment studies so we know where the air pollution is coming from, so we can have accurate policy responses. You'll notice, for instance, that most of the action that's being taken by the government of Punjab is against brick kilns and against crop burning. Now, I should remind you that most brick kilns in Punjab are far removed from Lahore. They're in the outskirts or in South Punjab. And as far as crop burning is concerned, while that is a significant contributor, is only taking place for 2 or 3 weeks of the year. So we need, and yet all of the focus seems to be on these two minority contributors of air pollution, when we should be focusing on how we can improve our refineries,
so don't you
improve
think
the
when
quality
we
of
specifically
fuel
talk about this particular season, the end of October or the start of the November or this entire month of November until the end of December, when smog is most of the time prevalent, it's primarily because of that crop burning or the remnants of it, the burning of those?
No, I'll have to disagree with you there. First of all, air pollution is a year-long problem. Year-long, we have dangerous levels of air pollution in Pakistani cities throughout the year, except most of the time, either because of the heat or because of the monsoon rains, we don't see the pollution because hot air rises and the rain from the barsat usually cleans up the environment. But come winter time, when temperatures start declining, hot air stops rising and most of the dust particulate is closer to the ground and more visible. That's what happens during the cold season. It's not a smog season, it's a year-long problem. The sources of pollution are the same. We have the same amount of
point, very pertinent point, Mr. Alam. Pretty quickly, unfortunately, we are short of time. I'll have to end the show. When you mentioned people cooking food using gas and wood, what are the alternatives? So doesn't it give a kind of a worrying sort of a sign for those people who are cooking food using these particular sources for energy? What should they do alternatively?
Well, you're absolutely right. Indoor air pollution is a lethal form of air pollution. And unfortunately, especially in our socioeconomic demographic, it's women who cook in kitchens who are more exposed to the air pollution in the kitchen than most of the other members of the family. Now, what you can do is move to alternative forms of heating. Now, I understand that Pakistan has had a surplus of gas in the past, which is why we have domestic gas. But really, other than moving to electric, we have to have better ventilated kitchens so that people who live inside homes and who are cooking meals for their families can protect their safety and their health from the evil aspects of indoor air pollution.
Right. Point well taken. Perhaps for another show, the kind of measures the authorities really need to put in place in order to implement that air pollution policy that you already mentioned. It has chalked out. Perhaps we'll be catching you for another episode to discuss this particular issue much in detail. I'll have to end the show over here. Mr. Ahmad Rafay Alam, environment lawyer, joining us on Skype. Thank you very much for your precious time, for being with us on Views on News tonight. Really appreciate that. With that, we come to the end of today's show. Till the next one, take good care of yourselves.